We're tracking a big winter storm. How much snow will fall in your neighborhood? We'll let you know in the forecast.
Plus, schools, government offices, and businesses are calling for delays or cancellations ahead of the storm. We'll get you up to speed before the work week begins.
And an apartment building goes up in flames after a man throws a Molotov cocktail through a window.
Look how many apartments got affected, And it's just like, why would you do something like that?
Tonight, why police say the man targeted these West Valley City apartments.
And new developments in the investigation of the parents of the two missing Idaho children.
They were like two teenagers that just been set free. And they were just giddy.
What we're learning about their plans to move to Hawaii just weeks after the mysterious death of one of their spouses.
We're tracking a winter storm warning tonight, and the First Alert Weather Team has you covered.
Fox 13's Elle Thomas is in the Fox 13 Nissan Weather Beast tonight, tracking those live road conditions. But we start with meteorologist Breck Bolton. Breck, we're expecting a messy Monday morning commute, we understand.
Oh, we are. We're seeing the impacts of the storm already taking shape and form across northern Utah. Cold front moving through the northern central Wasatch Front at this hour. Now, the snow is lagging behind just a little bit, but it is pushing through. You can see widespread snowfall just enveloping Box Elder County through Tooele County, traveling along I-80 right now from Wendover almost towards Tooele. We're seeing that snow falling. Notice the darker blues. That's indications of a moderate to a heavy snowfall. From this storm, we're going to see snowfall rates 1 to 2 inches per hour as we move through the evening into the early morning hours on Monday. Now, we're also seeing and beginning to see more snow falling currently as you look along I-15 heading on your way to Malad, also from Tremont, I-84 towards Snowville. So it's pushing through extreme northern Utah, and it will continue to track towards the Wasatch Front. Notice the temperatures dropping as we look from Logan through Salt Lake City. We're in the 30s, 20s though in Wendover, also eastern Nevada. 50s though still at this hour in Provo. The wind strong ahead of the front and behind it. Again, the front already pushing through Wendover. We've got sustained winds in the mid 40s. Looking along the Wasatch Front, winds anywhere between 10 to 20 miles per hour. The snow is going to hit hard tonight. How much snow will fall? What does it mean for your morning commute? How long will it last? We'll answer those questions coming up.
Thanks, Breck. We'll see you soon. And continuing our team coverage tonight, we're going to go out to Fox 13's Elle Thomas, who is live in the Fox 13 Nissan Weather Beast.
Elle, where are you right now, and how are things looking?
Yeah, hey guys, so right now, full beast mode. We are heading westbound on I-80 towards Tooele. Let me give you a look here at what we're seeing. So right now, not a lot of snow, but this is the area where we're seeing high winds. We can hear it really whipping up around the car here. It's from this point to the Salt Flats. We're seeing gusts over 40 miles per hour. In some areas, even up over 50 miles per hour. Now, the snow is at the tail end of this. It's going to be towards Wendover right now. And then already we're hearing about closures and delays for schools in anticipation of this big storm that's going to keep moving from Wendover here towards Salt Lake. UDOT says this is just the tip of the iceberg. Come tomorrow morning, though, we really do need to be prepared for a messy commute.
The fleet is on hand, the salt is piled high, and UDOT is ready.
So the next 48 hours for our snowplow crews are going to be essential.
Months into our winter season,
we haven't had major storms in the last several weeks.
UDOT says the worst storm is still to come.
Well, by the time everyone wakes up tomorrow morning, we're going to have several inches. This is going to be a major winter storm, one of the biggest of the season and definitely the coldest of the season.
Take a look at UDOT's travel forecast. Gusty winds and heavy snow are expected to bring bad news for drivers across the state.
It's going to be a very big challenge for our crews to be out there clearing the roads. We're talking about gusty winds that will continue to cause drifts of snow on the roads.
Their best advice, if you can, stay home so everyone can stay safe.
But really, just understand what you're getting yourself into before you leave the house.
All right, as far as your school closures are concerned, University of Utah has canceled any classes that start before 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. Also, Box Elder, Davis, Weber, and Provo school districts have announced a 2-hour delay. Every other school district is going to make a decision as to whether or not classes will be held by 5:30 tomorrow morning. So parents, you're going to want to keep an eye out for that. Now, we also have been hearing from Utah Highway Patrol. They say they're going to have all of their troopers out ready for this storm starting tomorrow morning. So you're definitely going to want to be on the lookout, taking things slow just out of safety for them. Of course, if you do want to see up-to-date travel information, road conditions, you can head to UDOT's website. Always give yourself plenty of time, especially tomorrow if you have to be on the roads. Live in the Fox 13 Nissan Weather Beast, Elle Thomas, Fox 13 News, Utah.
All right, Elle, thank you. Stick with Fox 13's First Alert Weather Team as we track this storm. We will have team coverage for you on Good Day Utah. That starts at 4:30 a.m. And for alerts anytime, download our free weather app from your smartphone's app store.
An update now to breaking news we brought you last night. West Valley City Police have arrested a 21-year-old man accused of intentionally starting a fire that destroyed an apartment building.
Police say they found Luis Fernando Bueso Romero near the men's shelter in South Salt Lake. He's been charged with 1 count of arson and 3 counts of attempted homicide.
Today, Fox 13's John Franke spoke to residents of that complex who are now trying to make sense of what happened.
Sunday sunrise produced light on a calm, still morning at the Overlook Point Apartments.
It's scary now because you never know.
But in the darkness, this is where a nightmare became a reality.
I didn't have a coat on. I came out with no shoes on. I wasn't cold because you could feel the heat coming off of it.
Brandy Guyman's husband recorded this video of the fire tearing through an apartment building where some had to do everything possible to escape.
In this top apartment up here, they were having a party, I guess, and people were having to jump off the balcony to get out.
Investigators believe the fire was set intentionally after a domestic dispute. They say a man threw a Molotov cocktail at the building, and it grew into this.
We heard some yelling outside my apartment, which is right next to where the fire was.
Paula Kiter heard everything from inside her home.
They were arguing. She was terrified.
Paula says she called 911 and consoled the woman and her children.
She said that he was very, basically crazy in the head, is what she said, and that she had left Miami, Florida to get away from him, and he found her.
Now, even though the smoke is cleared, Paula is still in shock.
Awful. It was awful. All I could think of was, oh my God, it's going to come over in my apartment. And I told my granddaughters, get out.
Residents are thankful for the job done by firefighters.
Like, they are amazing, and it's making me almost tear up right now. But, you know, they went in there, they were under there with the roof on fire.
But they still can't believe somebody would put so many lives at risk.
Why? Because look how many apartments got affected, you know? And it's just like, why would you do something like that?
West Valley City Fire has declared this building a total loss. The good news here, though, is that nobody suffered any serious injuries. 3 residents were treated for smoke inhalation. In West Valley City, John Franke, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Extra troopers are out on the roads tonight, keeping drivers safe as they head home from their Super Bowl parties. It's all part of a Super Bowl DUI lookout. Now, we got a chance to ride along with UHP as they patrolled the streets. 13 different agencies across the state added dozens of extra units looking for impaired drivers.
Salt Lake City police are investigating an overnight stabbing at a truck stop. Officers say 2 drivers driving the same truck started arguing with each other at the Love's truck stop off of Redwood Road that's near I-80. Investigators say one of them took out a knife and stabbed the other in the chest. Police say the victim would not cooperate with police before he was taken to the hospital.
He had an opening, a cavity in the chest, not too deep, and it was fresh blood coming out, but we don't know exactly how or where it happened.
Originally, police were called for a shooting, but they tell us they did not find any evidence to suggest a gun was involved.
The deadline for the mother of 2 missing children to reveal them to authorities in Rexburg, Idaho has come and gone.
But this weekend, we've learned some new details about what Lori Vallow and her husband, Chad Daybell, have been planning since her children, JJ and Tylee, disappeared. Fox 13's Spencer Joseph joins us live in our studio tonight with this new piece of the puzzle. Spencer?
Brian, Kirsten, nearly 3 months ago, before the media frenzy over this story, Chad and Lori were already looking for homes in Hawaii. This development coming from one woman I just spoke to who met with the couple months ago to rent to them.
Can you tell me where your kids are?
Long before the video of Chad and Lori Daybell emerged walking in Hawaii after being served with a search warrant, the couple was shopping for places to live just 2 weeks after the death of Chad's first wife, Tammy, was buried in Utah.
Just in my kitchen doing some dishes or whatever, and some knocking came at the door. So I went to the door, and these people were knocking, and they said, is your house for rent?
Jeannie Martin met them on November 7th. The couple wanted to rent a master bedroom from her. She says they seemed like giddy newlyweds. They're even talking about their kids.
I said, well, do all the kids get along with each other? Oh, yeah, they get along with each other. I'm like, well, do they come to Kauai to visit you? Yeah, they come to Kauai to visit us. And
Martin says the deal with the Daybells fell through, but Chad Daybell did submit an application, calling himself an author looking for a peaceful place to write, and looking for a rental for myself and my new wife that lives here on Kauai. Martin also says they exchanged several texts, some even talking about Tammy's death, saying in part, Tammy's passing was such a shock, and at her burial, I felt her tell me she was happy and already busy helping our family on the other side of the veil. But it wasn't until last week that she knew of any of the new news coming out about the couple.
her text just said, Jeannie, you were right. Check the news, Chad and Laura going down. So I was like, ha, ha, ha. Oh my gosh. I was hearing right. I maybe should have been more proactive.
But as news continues to further the mystery behind the disappearance of JJ and Tylee, Martin looks back on her meeting with a different light.
I'm not renting to these people because I don't want them at my house when the cops finally come to get them. I knew that for a fact.
Now, Jeannie also told me in light of everything that has happened, she has actually taken all of this and given it to the police and the FBI. So far, she hasn't been contacted about her dealings from officials. Live in studio, Spencer Joseph, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Spencer, thank you. Now, Fox 13 News has been leading the way in local coverage of the search for JJ and Tylee. We just released a special report that breaks down the whole case every step of the way. You can watch that over on fox13now.com.
You may have seen it right here on Fox 13, the Kansas City Chiefs winning Super Bowl 54 against the San Francisco 49ers. The Chiefs sealing the deal with an interception late in the fourth. Final score 31-20, giving BYU alum Andy Reid his first Super Bowl win as a head coach. Full highlights coming your way in sports.
And still to come, hear about a new study from BYU that looks into the positive benefits of praising students in the classroom.
And many of you probably remember the game Farmville, where you grow fruits and vegetables on your own computer. Well, coming up, we're going to tell you about a new app being made right here in Utah that will let you grow, water, and harvest your vegetables.
You know, when you're celebrating Chinese New Year, you're celebrating it all year long. We are going to check out some alternative ways to heal your body. Acupuncture.
Tornadoes! In this job, you learn to live with the enemy. But none of us get away clean.
Monday at 7 on Fox 13.
Today's game is being brought to you locally by Siegfried and Jensen, your accident attorneys.
We're just pulling up to the house right now. Okay, bye-bye.
Lo, the Royal Castle. Raise the drawbridge.
Feel like a king every time you shop for or service a vehicle at Larry H. Miller Ford Draper, the Ford King. This month, for a limited time, the new F-150s are 0% for 72 months. Larry H. Miller Ford Draper, online at lhmforddraper.com.
Your Royal Highness, your throne is clogged.
Sizzler's Steak and Endless Salad Bar is here for only $10.99. Hurry in for a hand-cut flame-grilled 6-ounce steak with one of our delicious sides and our Endless Salad Bar featuring fresh salad, soup, and dessert. Only $10.99 and only at Sizzler.
It's time to rediscover the human soul. We're talking about the source of your abilities, your motivation, your vitality. No more speculating. No more of this or this, but this. It's time to rediscover the human soul.
The Utah Honda Dealer Savings Countdown means thousands in savings on every new Honda. Through February 3rd, get additional savings on all overstocked inventory. Get up to 110% of KBB or an additional $1,000 trade assist through February 3rd. Visit your Utah Honda dealers today.
Weather Watch, brought to you by Ballet West. Don't miss Giselle. Tickets on sale now.
If you're just joining us, we're tracking road conditions live in the Fox 13 Nissan Weather Beast. You see some dry conditions. We know it's really windy out there on I-80 in Tooele County. And now the morning commute looking to be a dicey one. Breck will have his full forecast coming up. A new study has found praising students in a classroom setting has a big impact on their behavior. Here's Fox 13's Lauren Steinbrecher.
Punishment because you know deep down you deserve to be punished. Don't you, Mr. Potter? Versus praise.
2 times 9 is? 18. Excellent. You've been practicing. Pretty soon you'll be able to do any multiplication.
It could make the difference in students' behavior in the classroom.
Teachers who praised more and reprimanded less had much better behavior from their students than teachers who reprimanded more and praised less.
Paul Caldarella is a professor at BYU and the lead author of a new study that looked at praise versus reprimands in elementary classroom settings.
And part of the goal of the grant was to help teachers learn more positive ways of managing student behavior, elementary students' behavior in the classroom.
Researchers spent 3 years studying elementary school teachers from Missouri, Tennessee, and here in Utah. They found teachers can see a big increase in students' focus by praising instead of reprimanding. And there isn't a special number or ratio to it. Simply,
the more they praise and the less they reprimand, the better the students' behavior tended to be in the classroom.
The study found reprimanding could have an opposite effect, leading to increased student misbehavior. Caldarella says for this study, teachers were encouraged to give specific praise for student behavior.
Praise is a way for teachers to give feedback to students on their behavior, but it's also a way of reminding students of the expectations in the classroom.
As students hear praise, Caldarella says they're reminded of the task at hand. And he adds, behavior that is reinforced tends to increase, leading to improved learning. The study was published in Educational Psychology. Lauren Steinbrecher, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Well, just a few hours ago, snow started coming down heavy in Wendover. The winds following as well. Some of those pictures we're seeing out of the state line. Crazy.
A lot of us in northern Utah prepping for that. Classes canceled tomorrow. People delaying the start of their businesses. People are prepping for this.
It's going to hit. We're seeing that snow moving closer towards the Wasatch Front, having an impact, as we mentioned, Wendover, traveling along I-80. That's where our weather beast is traveling to, going across I-80, trying to hit that snow. We're not seeing it falling yet along the Wasatch Front. A view from our Intermountain camera looking northward. Yeah, we're not going to see it quite yet, but over the next hour, hour and a half, things will change. We're starting to see some changes, though, in that the colder air is beginning to move in. Cold front ahead of that snow having, it's changing the wind direction and dropping temperatures quickly. If you recall, just about 10 minutes ago, I showed current conditions in Provo. Winds were out of the south. Now that wind direction changed. The front moving through Utah County. You're seeing that wind direction out of the northwest. You were at 51 degrees. Right now, you're at 41 degrees. We've seen a 10-degree drop here just again over the last few minutes. As we take a look, though, from this storm and the winds, what's going on. Position of the winds coming in out of the northwest. We're seeing that impact from Ogden, Salt Lake City, Provo, through Delta, Wendover. Earlier, we had winds at 45 miles per hour in Wendover. They've subsided just a little bit. So behind this front, we're going to see some strong gusts. Ahead of that front, we're seeing that southwest flow, particularly as we look from western, southwestern Utah with sustained winds right now. 15 to 25 miles per hour. Still that possibility of seeing strong wind gusts. Now, travel concerns for most of the state tonight through tomorrow afternoon. Northern, western towards northeastern Utah, all in yellow. It's a moderate concern. But again, high alert there across most of the state. We're traveling along I-15 all the way from Idaho to Cedar City. As we look towards tomorrow morning into the afternoon hours, we're going to see the snow sticking to the roads. It will be slushy both for valley and even mountain locations. Now, winter storm warnings in the areas of pink. We talk about the winds. That's still in place. Some strong south winds expected in the overnight hours, particularly as we look towards south central to southwestern Utah. But as that front does move through, we're seeing also gusty winds as well. Now, winter storm warning will be in place for many locations until tomorrow. There'll be an extension of that warning for some of the mountain areas and across the Salt Lake Tooele valleys because we're going to see some lake effect snow. Now, how much snow are we talking about? As we've been talking over the past 24 hours, we're going to see snow in the mountains Probably less in the mountains than in the valleys for some spots. Really, over the next 48 hours, the range on the low end, a couple of inches in Park City, close to 10 inches in Snowbird. Not bad, we get it, but it's the valleys that really get socked in here as we show you along the Wasatch Front up through Cache Valley. Logan, 6 to 8 inches. Again, most of it falling tonight through early afternoon tomorrow, but we'll see some lingering snow tomorrow night through Tuesday morning as well. 8 to 12 inches in Salt Lake City. Along the benches, it's a foot or more. Tooele, 18 to 24 inches, a foot to 2 feet of snow, and quite significant amounts there as you look in Nephi. Now turning towards central and southern Utah, the focus will be central, turning towards southern Utah along I-15 from Fillmore down through Cedar City. You can see ranges anywhere between 4 to 6 inches, so treacherous roads all across the state, especially the major freeways, so I-80, I-70, I-15. And again, we're seeing that impact along I-80 through Tooele and Box Elder counties right now, also traveling along I-84. So that's the storm as far as the snow is concerned. You're seeing that push coming in from the north. Colder air, just that collision of the moisture and that cold air will keep the snow going here for the next several hours and heavy snow rates. All right, let's talk about the timing of it all. As we look for tonight, we move that front through. It pushes through in the morning hours. So along the Wasatch Front, turning towards Utah County into Nephi, the snow will be falling. Then as we go into the later commute hours, we're going to see that snow impacting I-15. Now, I just want to quickly show you, as we go into the early afternoon hours, you're seeing that colder air push through. Lake effect snowing going across Salt Lake, Tooele valleys down through Utah County as it will continue to linger even for your afternoon commute. Improvements though Tuesday afternoon. And finally, we'll be winding down. So for tonight, that cold air coming in, it's 20s along the Wasatch Front, teens as well. We hold on to the winds, and then the snow falling tomorrow. Look at these high temperatures, 20s and teens for most spots. St. George, you're down into the 40s. As you might see a brief shower, but mainly you're going to see some winds for the next couple of days and some cold temperatures. Then you nicely rebound back into the 60s by the weekend. Northern Utah, the snow hits tomorrow. Early Tuesday morning break. Wednesday afternoon to the evening with some snow and rain Thursday. So we'll keep the storm cycle going. Even looking towards next weekend, we'll see some snow showers, but the biggest and the brunt of the storm hitting tonight through tomorrow morning. So be careful on the roads come tomorrow morning.
Still to come, Logan could be soon adding a new trail park to the map. We're going to show you which river could be getting an upgrade and how you can help the city decide.
An iconic Utah woman being honored. Up next, how lawmakers are paying tribute to the first woman to be elected as a state senator in the United States.
This is protection in a world of distraction. This is value you can't ignore. Get 0% financing for 60 months and save $1,000 on the 2020 Rogue.
Bottom shelf! Top shelf! Beautiful, baby! Good job, good job!
Gouda, Gruyere, Manchego.
At Harmon's, we train hard to bring you the very best. We're the team that's here for you every day.
You'll have the greatest health care ever. Those pre-existing conditions are
You'll be
protected.
spending a lot less money for much, much better health care.
As mayor, Mike Bloomberg helped expand coverage for 700,000 more New Yorkers. As president, everyone will have access to affordable care. He'll cap health care costs and ban surprise medical bills. Real plans, not empty promises.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, and I approve this message.
What does a mechanic do? Fix your car? Sure. But the life of a mechanic is about more than engines and mufflers. Behind every getaway car and first ride home, every Friday night and Monday morning, there's a mechanic. At Master Muffler, we don't just maintain your car. We maintain the vehicle to your freedom.
Because we weld here, commerce runs smoothly here. Because we mold materials here, we ensure success here. Because we drive here, we propel business here. And because we fabricate here, we foster a better outcome here. At the new SLCC West Point campus, we not only improve careers, we improve our world.
All right, here it comes. See those snow flurries, Weather Beast out on the road, and we're going to see a lot more snow coming our way throughout the state. Breck's been talking about it, and we'll have more updates throughout the show. We're also going to have live team coverage coming your way tomorrow morning on Good Day Utah starting at 4:30 a.m.
City of Logan updating its parks, trails, recreation, and open space master plan. But first, city leaders need to hear from you before the plan is adopted. Fox 13's Aaron Cox shows us the plan.
The Logan River in Cache County could soon be incorporated into Logan City's trail network.
We're proposing a new plan to the city's trail network called the Logan River Blue Trail Master Plan.
A blue trail or a water trail has one important purpose: getting people back into the water and helping to protect it.
It serves just like the city's trail system that is on the ground, except that this involves the river itself.
Russ Aquina is the Parks and Recreation Director for the City of Logan. He says the plan is all about improving access to the Logan River for recreation and connecting the river with the city's parks and trails network, starting with Rendezvous Park,
where we have different parks that are located adjacent to the Logan River. It seems to be a natural step for us to look at that natural resource as part of the connectivity for the city's trail plan.
City leaders hope that people will use the river for recreation.
And to be able to float that with hand-carried watercraft, be that paddleboard, canoe, or kayak, inner tube.
But also hope that this will promote people's appreciation of the river.
Ways for the public to engage, to be good stewards of this natural resource.
Right now, Logan City leaders want to hear from you as they move the adopted master plan through the different phases of design and construction. They say safety is one of their top priorities.
There are areas, and these have been identified in the Blue Trail Master Plan, that need to be addressed for safe navigation.
The deadline for input is March 31st of this year. Aaron Cox, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Utah lawmakers have unveiled a replica statue of the first woman to be elected as a state senator in the United States. The statue of Dr. Martha Hughes Cannon will represent Utah in Washington, D.C., 100 years after the 19th Amendment gave women the right to vote. Fox 13's Max Roth has the story.
At 25 inches tall,
Martha represents so much more than being a woman.
The bronze replica statue of Dr. Martha Hughes Cannon was unveiled at the Utah State Capitol.
And she represents fortitude, she represents intelligence, standing up for her beliefs, equality, and justice.
Dr. Cannon was a pioneer, a doctor, suffragist, and the first woman in any state senate, defeating her own husband for office.
Now, Utah was a leader in early equal women's rights.
During the Utah legislative session in 2018, lawmakers voted to send a statue of Dr. Cannon to represent Utah in the U.S. Capitol, replacing the statue of TV inventor Philo Farnsworth.
She was an impactful leader in her community.
Now, 2 years later, the process is almost complete and the timing almost perfect. This summer, the full rendition, a 7.5-foot tall statue of Dr. Cannon, will be placed in the National Statuary Hall in the U.S. Capitol during a celebration ceremony for the 100th anniversary of the ratification of the 19th Amendment. That gave women the right to vote.
It's a dream come true for an artist.
Ben Hammond is the sculptor and artist who created this statue of Dr. Martha Hughes Cannon.
Extremely intelligent, extremely driven, but also a kind, loving mother, and just a real great representative of the state of Utah.
Hammond hopes people will see her strength and her goodness.
I tried to exude that in the strength of her drapery, her hands, but also show that quiet confidence in the expression on her face. So hopefully people can see that. If not, hopefully they can just say, well, it looks good.
Each state gets 2 statues in National Statuary Hall to honor notable figures in each state's history. This one of Dr. Martha Hughes Cannon will be the 10th woman represented.
The fact that I get to create a statue of an amazing Utahn and Martha Hughes Cannon is really, really special to me.
In Salt Lake City, Max Roth, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Still ahead, some local Cowboys duked it out at the Maverick Center this weekend. We take you to the Bulls and Bronx Rodeo.
And he's one of the biggest rap artists in the world right now. We'll take a closer look at Post Malone's Utah connection and obsession.
With a 3% cash bonus on balance transfers, a Mountain America Rewards credit card can put the whole world in your hands. Imagine the memories you'll make with a same-day cash bonus. And rewards like event tickets and travel rebates. It's easy to transfer a balance through our mobile app or at a branch. Get your 3% cash bonus today.
The Missionary Starter Package at Mr. Mac. It's everything a missionary needs at an unbeatable value. The package includes 1 wool blend 2-pant suit, 4 wrinkle-free dress shirts, 4 washable ties, and a pair of Echo or Johnson & Murphy walking shoes, all for just $495. And fit is never a problem with free tailoring in every store. Mr. Mac makes shopping for your mission convenient and affordable. Ask for the Missionary Starter Package at all 9 Mr. Mac stores.
At Speedway, we're always looking out for you. That's why we invest in industry-leading technology like our fast and secure pumps. Equipped with state-of-the-art card readers, with the latest advances in credit card security to keep your information safe at thousands of Speedway locations. Which means when you fill up here, you know Speedway's got your back. So you can get what you need and get on your way.
Official fuel of IndyCar. Utah politicians just passed a massive food tax increase. It's time for new leadership. Meet Jeff Birmingham. He's not a politician, he's a self-made businessman. Jeff Birmingham created thousands of jobs in Utah. As governor, Jeff Birmingham will modernize education to prepare our kids for tomorrow's jobs. And he'll keep Utah prosperous without sacrificing our way of life. Jeff Birmingham for governor. Leadership that works for you.
In world news tonight, London police saying 3 people are in the hospital.
This after they were stabbed by a man believed to have ties to extremist groups. During the attack, London police say the suspect wore a fake explosive device. Police shot and killed the suspect near central London. In a tweet shortly after the stabbings, the Prime Minister thanked the emergency services responding to the incident, adding, "My thoughts are with the injured and all those affected." Police do not believe there are any other suspects.
A well-placed source telling Fox News that U.S. officials believe the leader of al-Qaeda in Yemen likely killed in a U.S. airstrike in early January, but are waiting for confirmation of his death before making an announcement. The airstrike targeting Qasim al-Rimi came after several months of tracking the elusive terrorist, who the State Department had a $10 million bounty for.
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is reducing the numbers of missionaries in Liberia over concerns about supplies. The church says 23 young missionaries who were nearing their scheduled departure will be sent home. 8 other missionaries who were preparing to arrive in the mission have been temporarily reassigned to other missions.
Health officials confirming an 8th case of coronavirus in the United States today. Some people who have recently traveled to China will be denied entry to the U.S. The restrictions, which went into effect today at 5 p.m. Eastern, come as health officials confirm a Massachusetts college student is the 8th case of coronavirus in the U.S. He recently returned from Wuhan, China. The first death outside of China was reported today. A 44-year-old Chinese man died in the Philippines just days after he flew in from Wuhan.
Any U.S. citizen returning to the United States who has been in Hubei province in the previous 14 days will be subject to up to 14 days of mandatory quarantine.
More than 14,000 people have been infected with the coronavirus in over 20 countries and territories. It's killed more than 300 people in mainland China.
A new app is being developed to let you grow produce from your smartphone and have it delivered to you.
Not a bad idea. Fox 13's Jordan Hogan shows us how this all works.
The founder of GrowGrub says he's been working on this idea for 23 years, long before apps and smartphones. Now the Utahn says he's ready to bring it all to life.
You probably remember the game Farmville, where you grow fruits and veggies from the comfort of your computer. Yet you only reaped virtual rewards. Now an app in development called GrowGrub wants to give you something back for all of your hard work.
With the development of apps and everything like that, and then Farmville, I thought, well, people are paying money to buy corn to grow in a cartoon form, and so it made me think deeper into the idea of doing it for real.
The founder of GrowGrub, Craig Borlick, says people tend not to grow their own fruits and vegetables due to a lack of space, lack of time, or lack of knowledge, so he wants to fix that. The idea of Borlick's app is to allow people to grow their own produce from their phones by choosing the seeds, watering, and harvesting at the touch of a button.
You'll basically then select the crop that you want from your phone, and you'll design and lay out your garden. There's also pre-selected gardens, such as a salsa garden or a pizza garden.
GrowGrub is still in its early stages, but that's not through a lack of trying on Borlick's part.
The idea I knew was so good that I couldn't really talk about it because I didn't have the money to move this thing forward.
Borlick now has a patent for GrowGrub, meaning a big company with more money and resources can't steal it from under him.
We're now where we have a person on board developing the app for us. Just for the basic first 1.0, I'm going to call it, version, the next app will start to incorporate more levels of user functions.
Users of the app will also be able to track the progress of the fruits and veggies through internet-connected cameras.
They'll be able to select what they want to harvest and ship and what will be donated.
GrowGrub's founder says he's planning to start with a focus group of 64 people where each person will have their own test patch to start. The pilot program is scheduled to be at farms in Utah, and Borlick says they're just working on getting a stable internet connection at those test sites before they move forward.
Borlick says he's hoping to have the first version of the app up and running by May. In studio, Jordan Hogan, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Yeah, shut up, spleen. Sorry, I'm just talking to my spleen.
That's a new Budweiser ad featuring Post Malone. It was shot inside of a bar in Ogden called Brewski's. It was one of two ads the beer company shot for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Post Malone popping up in Ogden or anywhere else in Utah is becoming somewhat common. Fox 13's Elle Thomas explains why he's made Utah his home.
You've heard about the greatest snow on earth in his songs. You've watched his alter ego, Post Limon, take over a Utah ID.
Come on, man. Come on. Wow.
And you've even seen the Wasatch Mountains, front and center in his latest music video. It's no secret, Post Malone loves Utah. And Utah? Well, if you take a look at social media, it's safe to say it loves him too. Spotted all over city streets, Post is posting up in the Beehive State.
And let me tell you something, it feels so good to be back home again, ladies and gentlemen.
The only question on everyone's mind, why Utah?
Buying a place out in the sticks.
We wouldn't necessarily call this the sticks. This is Post Malone's nearly 13,000 square foot, $4 million Cottonwood Heights mansion. It has the basics, you know, a gym, pool, fire pit, basketball court. Oh yeah, it doubles as a post-apocalyptic bunker. He's actually had plans to build an end-of-the-world escape since 2017.
It's gonna be fun until the world ends, but whenever the world ends, it's gonna be functional.
But it didn't take much to sell him on Utah.
I did a show in this dope venue right next to the Salt Lakes, the Salt Flats in Utah. And I said, you know what, it's kind of stinky, but I was like, this is so beautiful.
Turns out, this is the place for Post Malone.
Being in Utah and being away from the grind and from, you know, everybody else, and it's just me with my video games and cold one, that feels good to me.
Elle Thomas, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Man, that house though.
looks nice.
Incredible.
Is it done yet?
And I'm glad he's here. I do love his music.
Yeah, he's spotted all over the place. Maybe you'll see posts out and about.
Hopefully. Well, there was a big crowd on hand for the 3rd annual Lewis Field Bulls and Broncs this weekend.
The Days of 47 rodeo put on the event in recognition of the late Hall of Fame cowboy Lewis Field. Lewis's son Casey welcomed the crowd to the Maverick Center. The night featured some of the best rough stock cowboys competing for cash and a guaranteed spot in the Days of 47 rodeo this July. 4-time world bareback champion says it's a great honor for his family.
Very humbling at the same time. The legacy that my dad left behind and the memories that he left behind are still growing. And now this event, the Lewis Field Bulls and Broncs, it's something very humbling and special to me.
Local bull rider Josh Frost won his round but was unable to advance in the finals. Well, tonight I watched the commercials and Brian watched the Super Bowl.
We took in the game right here on Fox 13. It was a good game.
Yeah, it was. We started our coverage at, 10 in the morning, went all the way through it. It was a great finish. We were kind of waiting to see, could Andy Reid finally get his hands on that trophy? It's been so many years. Go to South Beach, San Francisco with 5 titles, while Kansas City's only one came exactly 50 years ago. They're due. Start with Patrick Mahomes, toys with the option, eventually decides to do it himself. 7-3 KC, quarter 2, Jimmy Garoppolo's turn on the rollout, Kyle Juszczyk. Not only has it doozy of a move to stay on his feet and flip across, game even at 10 at the intermission. 13-10 49ers in the third. Mahomes looking downfield. Guess who's lurking? The second-year linebacker out of BYU, Fred Warner, making a marquee play, adding 7 tackles as well. It would lead to that. Raheem Mostert has the line. San Francisco doubling up the Chiefs at 20-10. It would remain that way until 6 minutes left. Easy connection, Mahomes to his tight end, Travis Kelce. Kansas City came back from 10-plus down in their first 2 playoff games, so they know how to do it. Big play for Sammy Watkins. They're inside the 15 and playing for the win. New target, Damian Williams in the flat. He'll dive and get there. The Chiefs with their first lead since it was 10-3. Could Garoppolo answer, though? Here comes the pressure. Sacked on 4th down, and then just for good measure to solidify the comeback, Williams on the loose has the first down and plenty more. Andy Reid no longer the winningest regular season coach without a Super Bowl. He's got one now, not to mention a wet wardrobe. 31-20 Chiefs. A Utah won in the boxing ring last night. The Payson and Orem native Clay Collard defeated Raymond Guajardo with a second-round TKO. In what was considered a big upset. Collard also does mixed martial arts on the UFC circuit. He improves to 6-2-3 as a professional boxer. And coming up shortly on the sports page, Tony Finau went down to the wire in search for that elusive victory. A great finish in Phoenix, plus the Utes in action as well. And of course, Andy sounds off following his team's victory down in Miami.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Jam-packed sports page.
Jam-packed, all kinds of stuff.
All right, let's take another look at what's going on out there with this winter storm. As you can see, it is having a big impact across most of northern Utah, beginning to push into the Wasatch Front. Heavy snow showers along I-80 between Wendover and Twilla right now, and then moving further north. Once you get northward from Brigham City out through Tremont, we're seeing that heavy snow. And as we look at your hour-by-hour forecast, the snow will be hitting the Wasatch Front within the next hour, and it will continue on throughout the evening into the morning hours and for your morning commute as well. So we're going to see a lot of snow along the valley floors, even the benches.
And head over to our website because we have a list of all of the schools that are either canceled or delaying their start time. Also, a lot of government and businesses are delaying their start time as well, so people don't have to be out on the roads.
That'll do it for this late edition of Fox 13 News at 9. Team coverage of this winter storm coming your way tomorrow morning. A Good Day Utah starts bright and early at 4:30 a.m.
And Sports Page is coming up next, so stick around.